What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug, and welcome back to WWE 2K19 Universe Mode Worlds Collide, back on that Monday Night Raw, baby. And we start this show with Mr. McMahon versus Batista in a tables match. And so I welcome you to a fine Tuesday here on the program. You've got no chance in hell on this fine Tuesday afternoon, if you will. VinnyMech, it's pretty good. So, obviously, there is some Raw stuff to discuss here, and good God, Raw stuff. But before that, we obviously have other things to discuss on this show. In our news bit of business. Now, number one, Bray Wyatt was apparently backstage at Raw last night, and obviously not on Raw last night. So, that's unfortunate. But we have the fact that Kairi Sane apparently has hand, foot, and mouth disease, and that's kind of like, adults usually don't get that. So, all those meet and greets are going to get you eventually, going to catch up to you. All those handshakes are going to eventually catch up to you at some point if you're in a public-facing position like that. So there is that. Now, we have some stuff from the UK. We have kind of a bunch of stuff here from the UK to discuss as it concerns talent signings and also NXT UK. And these are all rumors, but they're pretty credible rumors from what I've seen around there on the internet. Number one being that Walter has been signed to WWE in some capacity. One would imagine NXT UK, because he said before he does not want to leave the country. He does not want to leave Europe for living in America, so one would imagine, alright, NXT UK for Walter. And that's fine, but the other part of this discussion is the rumors. Oh, a handshake. With his robot hand, you don't want to do that. Boom! Slapped him right in the metal. Right in that metal dome. That is not how you start a match here. Clearly. So, the rumor on the new talent restrictions for NXT UK had you going, yeah, that's a WWE move. They don't really want any competition or any vestige of competition. So, the way things have currently worked, right, has been that if you were signed to NXT UK, you could still work the indies in the UK or wherever, as long as they didn't have a significant online presence like WCPW, or I guess now Defiant, or they didn't have a TV deal, or, you know, no big significant bit of business where people would see you there and then also on NXT UK. And, alright, sure, fine, right? But now, not only are you A, pretty much primarily on NXT UK, but B, the only other indies you can work, supposedly, are the partners they have over there, which is like Progress, ICW, etc., etc. So you can only work for those in addition to NXT UK. And when you're working a Progress or you're working an ICW, if your opponent that was booked there, right, has a deal, is under, say, a Ring of Honor deal or a New Japan deal or wherever, you can't work them anymore. And I'm like, really? The opponent? You... What? So yes, they are locking that stuff down, much like the Usos on SmackDown. It is locked down. And that's the current rumor. So there might be some, you know, partial truths here and there, but I've seen kind of a lot of reactions from people who, you know, are over there on the UK indies that makes it seem like, well, that's pretty much what's going to happen. And they're going to squash any possible competition in favor of what they want to do with NXT UK. So that is unfortunate, right? That is just them coming in and strong-arming a very burgeoning and hot British indie scene, saying, no, we do it better, come work for us, P.S., you can't work anywhere else. Or without any kind of major restrictions. Is that a pedigree on the Batista? Okay, sure. Batista knows he lost a tables match to Skeletor. And we know we have Shao Kahn here waiting in the wings somewhere. But Mr. McMahon putting the screws to Batista. Anyway, so that's kind of your UK stuff. They signed Walter, and a lot of these guys now have these massive restrictions on them, or they supposedly do. So hey, when they had that NXT UK takeover in January, you could have Walter in the crowd as your hottest free agent signing, as they always have at those takeovers, or they usually have at those takeovers. Not always, but, you know, a lot of the time. So that is a thing that they enjoy doing. Vince putting Batista into the tree of woe. VinnyMech with that table. Will Batista end up taking another spot through a solid wood, a table? So far, it's looking very likely, but you never know. You never know what could transpire on this show, right? This could be Batista. Nope. All right, well, you never know, and apparently that was not the case there because Vince going to do the Vince thing, and he's not going to take that spot. Nope. He is the man in charge, and this is it for Big Dave Batista through that table. Your winner, VinnyMech.
Here is your winner, the Cyborg, Mr. McMahon.
After that, we have Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. And you got that one to Sasha Banks. We got Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, and you got it to your boy Braun Strowman, obviously. Ronda Rousey, Ember Moon. I think Ember could use a victory. And then Seth Rollins versus the Big Dog in a normal match after Seth beat the Big Dog in a tables match. Seth patiently waiting for the Big Dog, and Big Dog sneaking in out of the crowd. An ambush. What an attack. Bite. Dog. Bite. Anyway, let's get on to Monday Night Raw because, I don't know, people were upset about the quality of Raw last night, and I feel like I mentioned this a couple of days ago, that between Survivor Series, once that's over, and the Royal Rumble, they pretty much spin their wheels for that time span of, like, late November, early December, late December, like, late November till early January is where they pretty much spin their wheels. Until we begin the build toward the Rumble, they're going to spin their wheels, and last night was definitely some wheel spinning. Oh, nice moonsault on that show. We had Elias versus Lashley, and I'm like, oh, good, that's a match I want to see again. And granted, at the very end of that, having McIntyre do the reverse Alabama Slammer into that solid steel stairs, that's a cool spot, but does not quite justify having to see Elias versus Lashley again, right? Now, we have announced that Alexa Bliss she's in charge of the Raw Women's Division, which to me says she is not anywhere near being cleared to work a match again, but they want to have her on TV. And I had heard a rumor that perhaps after this Braun and Corbin match at TLC, she might end up taking Corbin's job as the Raw GM completely. Sure, fine, that works. No problem there. You had the Revival fight the Lucha House Party again, and the Lucha House Party won again. And like I said, you're just spinning your wheels. You're just doing matches that we've seen a bunch, and we're doing them again with the same result, pretty much. And to be fair, that's 3-on-2. So the numbers game should usually win in any case where it is in their favor. But whatever. They're pitching large right now as a free agent. So will Lars go to Raw? Will they go to SmackDown? We don't know yet. But he definitely was not on the show this week and was not the mystery opponent for the Open Challenge. Don't worry, we'll get there. The man, the workhorse, doing the comeback, the architect, Sling Blade from Rollins. Can he take out the Big Dog? Oh, doing his signature. Boom, kick to the face. And then perhaps we'll see either the knee or the stomp. One of those. Yup. All right, the knee. Revolution knee to that Big Dog. To that Big Dog face. 1, a 2, a 3. That's it. Rollins defeats the Big Dog. Even getting hit from behind, he still managed to get it done. In our 2-on-2 ladder match, we got the Funk and Punk Connection versus the Rude Boys. So they are continuing this Nia Jax business of having Nia continue to use the heat from when she punched Becky in the face. Now she's the face breaker. And on one hand, I'm mad that they're, kind of rewarding her after that very unsafe, ruining a match at a show type deal. On the other hand, it's wrestling. You use the cards you're dealt. That's what happened. There's heat there. You use that heat. That's just, at the end of the day, how wrestling works. Now then, speaking of, I guess, AOP and Drake Maverick. For folks who want back the Attitude Era, they had Drake Maverick piss on the robe of Bobby Roode. and that caused the distraction, which let the AOP win the match. You shouldn't need a distraction to have AOP win a match, but that's kind of where we're at, I suppose. And yes, a bit reminiscent of DX pissing on the bikes of DOA back in the day. Now then, because of Braun being out for who knows how long at this point with his elbow surgery, we have his Mixed Match Challenge partner was changed now. And it was changed to Kurt Hawkins. And I'm like, they really want the other team on that side to win, right? Like, this season of Mixed Match Challenge is so cursed. There have been so many replacements. Originally, this was a Braun Alexa team, and now it's Ember Moon and Kurt Hawkins, and you're like, how? Wait, what? That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, speaking of your wheels spinning and things that nobody would really care about, we had Jinder fight No Way Jose, and you're like, oh, okay. And then your open challenge. You're like, oh man, the one thing to look forward on Raw last night, the open challenge, because you could have had a number of people put in there, and you could have had, hey, a new champion, something fresh on the show. It was Dolph Ziggler. And Seth and Dolph have put together some, very competent, very fun to watch matches. Like, I don't have a problem with the quality of their wrestling, but we've seen Seth and Dolph repeatedly. And then you had Seth win, and you were like, why did any of this happen? You could have had, if you were going to have Seth win here, right? If you were not going to have a Dean Ambrose interference, you were going to have Seth Rollins defeat whoever came out for the open challenge, then you could have had anybody else. You could have had Bray. You could have had just Balor. You could have had a fresh matchup there with that. And here goes Ravishing Rick Rude putting CM Punk through that ladder. Good for him. And Funk starts the climb with Bobby Roode. So yeah, that was massively disappointing that ended up being the open challenge match, because I don't want to see Seth and Dolph again on Raw when the rest of this Raw is so many other matches we've already seen before. And again, it's that time period where they're just going to spin their wheels. And hey, guess what? We're going to keep on doing this because whatever. Speaking of whatever, your main event was literally Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, which we've seen like 20 times this year. And I'm like, oh, good. They're doing that again. And then it ended up being Baron and McIntyre, and that, I guess your top heel faction now is Corbin, McIntyre, and Lashley with Lio Rush. And I'm like, apparently Dolph and Drew not hanging out anymore? That's weird, because they were on the same show. You would think that he'd be in that faction, but they're not friends anymore? I don't know that whole thing. The Dogs of War are no longer, if you will, because, we're on space again, and that whole thing. So, yeah. Overall, just disappointing. But I'm not surprised by Raw. Like, at all. So, that's kind of the thing there, is that, when you expect it, when your expectation of the bar is already so low, then you really can't get that upset about it, because you kind of know how they handle their business this time of year on the show. So, that kind of, end of the day, is what it is. Like, I'm not mad at it, because I didn't expect any better. Like, they could have given me better. That'd be nice. I'd appreciate that. But I didn't expect better, because I've been watching wrestling for a long time. A long, long, long time. Glorious DDT on Funk, you egg-sucking dog. Bobby Roode can go to sleep. So at the very least, tonight on SmackDown will be Becky Lynch. We don't know exactly why or in what capacity, but it was announced she'll be on SmackDown. That's something. Just give me something this time of year. Because good God, it's going to be a long December. And Bobby Roode going for that briefcase. And Terry Funk nowhere near getting to him to get it back, because Rick Rude running interference and CM Punk is just down. So the Rude Boys might have this one. They might have this in the bag entirely, unless Punk can actually get there, and he's just not getting there. He's like, I want to get... Yeah, sometimes the AI in this game is terrible, so just end the match. Just end the match. Rude Boys win. So the Rude Boys have defeated your Raw Tag Team Champions. And your main event, Kevin Owens versus Goku. Obviously, I'll give it to Goku. Potential rivalry. for Kevin Owens and Goku. I would like to see that. And so tomorrow, back to SmackDown Live. I'm attackslug. Thanks for watching. More videos every day. I'll see you next time right here on this channel. And I'm out.